Hey Siri, what's the temperature?
It doesn't seem particularly cold to me.
She doesn't think it's that cold. It's 66. Okay, well, anyways, that's cold to me. For a June, what is it? June 11th? 66 at 9:10 a.m. Okay, 9:20 a.m. So anyways, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Happy Healthy Fit Book Club. We got this bad boy right here. This is what we're doing today. This was from my book launch and my book open house, my launch. One of my friends had this made for me, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. It's huge. So I get to forever have this. So, you guys, today we are talking about self-love. I am in love with yesterday's video, and if you did not catch it, make sure you go back on this page. It is pinned to the top. I am putting all of these videos out on my YouTube channel in a playlist so that you can go straight to the playlist and play these in order, and you'll be able to catch up on all of these. Okay, so for those of you who are missing them, maybe you're not seeing them because you're working at this time, no problem. Just make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and you can watch the playback on all of the videos there. You can do a binge watch on a Saturday or a Sunday if you feel so inclined. And also, to get the workbooks, again, you need to go to liznierzwicki.com, sign up for the newsletter, and those are just being emailed out with my regular newsletters, okay? So, you guys, thanks for being here. I got some really awesome feedback from some of you yesterday. Sorry, I really am like not enjoying the way that I look right now. Oh, well. I got some really cool feedback. So outside of that, I'm not here to look any particular way. I'm here to support you and help you. So today we're moving into chapter 2, and this is the self-love section. And today, actually, I went online and got I already have my book, but I went onto my app, my Audible app. And if you don't yet have Audible, see this? Hold on, let me show you this instead. Wait, where am I going? See that? I am who God says I am. This is a screensaver that you can get when you sign up for my newsletter. It's like the second or third email that comes your way. I'm giving out screensavers in just general newsletters that I offer. And this one, I believe, comes out in like my third newsletter to you, just on a basic like getting to know me sequence. Who am I? Why should you listen to me? What have I done to be any sort of, light or guidance in the world, mentor in the world? And I've done quite a bit. So I definitely want you to listen to me and let me help you and let me guide you, whether it's stress management, whether it is starting a business, whether it is fitness, whether it's nutrition, mindset. This is my experience. This is my life's work. I've been studying this stuff for over 20 years, since 1996. So that's a long time. And I'm here to support you and guide you. So anyways, I was listening to my book, the chapter on self-love today, in this Audible app. Do you have Audible? If you don't, I can get you a free book by going to figurefitfreebook.com. And you can get sign up at that with that link, figurefitfreebook.com. And then you can sign up for Audible membership. And when you get, you sign up through that link, put your email in. You do got to give your credit card, I believe, in the beginning. They don't charge you. You get a free membership, free book. And then you can get any book. I would love for you to get my book, Happy Healthy Fit. I am actually narrating it. I don't think I'm going to narrate my next one. I might. I don't know, though. But because it's weird. Like hearing my own voice, it's just kind of weird sometimes. But my book, Happy Healthy Fit,
It's important to practice
it's
and
out there,
cultivate happiness in your daily life.
and it's ready for you to listen to. Like I think in the beginning, I'm just pretty hypercritical because it was the very first recording that I ever did. Look, we're talking about self-love today, and I'm bashing my own voice in my book. It's exactly what I'm going to tell you not to do today. Oh, if I only listen to my own words as much as I need to. I mean, I try. This is why This is why I teach. There is a common phrase, and it is, you learn something, you teach it right away to ingrain that learning into your being. The more you teach it, the more you learn it. And you know what? Honestly, you guys, that is so true. And every time that I've taught my yoga school, the sessions, like not just the poses, because the poses I can do those, like those are just easy, like the basic sequences in the yoga path. But to teach the philosophy and to teach, just really diving into teaching the path of yoga, the science behind it, the path, like all of the 8 steps, the philosophy, the breathing, the meditation, it just wires it deeper and deeper and deeper into who I am every time I teach it. So to teach is to learn. And, the more we teach something, the more we do something, the more we teach something, the more ingrained it becomes in our being and who we are. So anyways, self-love. So I was listening to this chapter this morning, and there's some really good worksheets in the book that you can go through and even just get out your journal and start writing these things down. So I took notes because there's some things that I want to talk about this morning that are really important for you, all of you who are kind of curious about what self-love is. There's a huge movement right now in self-love. And I talk to self-love with men and I talk to self-love with women. And women can honestly look at themselves and go, yeah, you know what? When I do this, binge eat, that's not self-loving. When I attack my body in the mirror, that's not self-loving. Men, maybe they belittle themselves and that they can go, yeah, that's not self-loving. And a lot of times I think that people, men or women, kind of look at self-love and they think, I don't want to love myself too much because then I might be arrogant. It might end up making me conceited or full of myself. And that's not what self-love is. So I want you to really take a moment and just think about what your version of self-love looks like, sounds like, acts like, real self-love. Not like that kind of conceited or arrogant or full of yourself self-love. Okay? That's not what we're talking about in terms of self-love here. My version of self-love is when you honor yourself, you honor the decisions that you have made in your life. You have looked at your life objectively and you've looked at it and thought, you know what? You're no longer beating yourself up for past things that you've done wrong. And you have really done the work to look at your choices that you've made that have maybe gotten you into a pickle and gotten you into experiences that you wish you were not in, and you've grown beyond them. You've gotten out of them. You're grateful for the work you had to do and the growth you had to do to get yourself out of those situations. Like me, as a single mom, I can look back at that experience and go, you know what? That was not the greatest decision on my part. It was hard. But that hard made me hunker down and grind and work and do everything I possibly can to eliminate distractions, aka men, and focus on building a life for myself and my son. Creating, working really hard, getting a good job, interviewing, learning how to interview really well, or in the early days before I became an entrepreneur, learning how to interview really well, learning what kind of an associate I needed to be, or a manager or a director I needed to be, and doing the work, studying other people. I never would have done that had life been given to me, or if I would have been married and a stay-at-home wife. None of the hard stuff that I learned that made me successful as an entrepreneur would have been learned. So yes, some of the stuff that I did in my early days got me into some binds, but I had to grind and work and learn and grow to get out of them. Okay. I wouldn't trade anything. I wouldn't trade a single thing for what I know now. I wouldn't. There's people that I have coached, that I've worked with, who I can help because I didn't have their situation. You know what I mean? Like there's women that have come to me after divorce where they literally got married right out of college and were stay-at-home wives and taking care of the kids. And that is a huge job in and of itself. And it's a different kind of expertise. It's a different kind of organizational skill. It's a different kind of lifestyle than what I had to do. It's just different. Neither one of them is better or worse. They're both needed. But see, the thing is, I have experiences and life experience and strengths in a way that some of the women that I have coached don't have. They never had. And you know what? They have things they can teach me because they were married and they were in a dynamic that that obviously did not work. And so they were able to teach me things that I never learned. And I'm able to teach them things they never learned because of our, experiences in life. So the thing is, owning your past, owning what you've done, looking at it and realizing that you are the one who got yourself into that situation. And if you want to be out of it, it is time to be really compassionate with yourself, forgive yourself, and choose to focus on where you do want to go. Okay, so I really got hung up on that one thing, and it's really important that I move on because I don't want to spend too much time on that one. What is self-love? We're still on that. Can you honor yourself, or are you beating yourself up? Okay, if you're beating yourself up, that's not self-loving. If you're honoring yourself and your decisions, that is self-loving. Here's a huge one, my friends. Can you keep your word to yourself? When you say at nighttime, I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to work out and then I'm going to cook myself breakfast and then I'm going to write in my journal, or I'm going to write 200 words for my new book, or whatever the case may be, are you keeping your word to yourself? Or at the next moment when life shows up for you, are you putting all those things that you said you're going to do on the back burner? Because if you are, that is totally not self-loving. Because what's going to happen later is you're going to beat yourself up because you didn't do it. You're going to feel inadequate because you didn't do it. That's what happens. That's where low self-esteem comes from. That's where low self-respect comes from, because you never keep your word to yourself. Okay? So those are super, super important. I actually did a podcast on that, and it's called what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. It was a while ago, but it was something about this is how you build self-respect. And it was really about keeping your word to yourself. Because you guys, there's a thing called the success cycle. When you've got an idea and then you go after it and then you prove to yourself that your idea was good, that's self-confidence. So you have the idea, you take action, the action yields a result, and then it makes you feel good, and then you do it all over again. That's where it's the success cycle, and that's where confidence comes from, okay? Entrepreneurs know this because we've done this. We have an idea, we chase that vision, we achieve that vision, we feel the reward, whether it's confidence or it's financial gain. That is, then we just keep going. It's once you become an entrepreneur, it's really, really hard to go back to being an employee somewhere else, because you feel that sense of accomplishment and in that reward that you have the idea and you chase it, you get the reward, you get the results, and you do it again. And you don't always get the results. Sometimes you get failure. And a lot of times that's where people stop. But it is in those failures where we got to rise up again and we got to learn what we did wrong so we don't do it again. And we keep going. We just keep going. What is it? Success is going from failure to failure without losing momentum, or failure, success. You just got to keep going through it. I don't even know what the quote, but there's a quote out there like that. Feel free to post it below if you know what it is. All right. Let me go through. I'm going to rapid fire these for you. When you love yourself, you are your own best friend. You do not betray yourself. And so how would you betray yourself? You would betray yourself if your intuition is telling you not to do something and you do it anyways, and you're like, God, I knew I shouldn't have done that. You don't do that when you love yourself. You listen to yourself. You honor yourself. And because I'm a spiritual teacher, because I'm a yoga teacher, because I teach the path of yoga, and because I know this, because I've done this to myself too many times to count, and then I was mad at myself, I had to cultivate the hearing of my inner voice, my inner guide, my intuition, my soul. I had way too many times as a child been told to shut up, or I didn't know what I was talking about because I was the youngest, and when you listen to that when you were a kid, you feel something, right? So like a lot of the times when I was little, I had to kind of fight to be heard or fight to get my way. And as an adult, you don't need to do that anymore, but you still might have the same patterning. And you have to realize that just because your family treated you that way doesn't mean they were right. And so it's a lot of unlearning what you learned growing up, that your intuition matters, your opinion matters, your voice matters, your words matter. I guess my dog wants to say hi. I kept seeing her. What? What do you want? Look at her. Cassie, come here. Hey, what are you doing? No, come over here. She's going towards my hand. Come here. Come here. Come here. Up. Give me your face so everyone can see you. Hello. Cassie, I'm doing a live right now. What do you want? Are you hungry? Or do you want to go outside? What is it? You just wanted to be a part of this? What do you have to tell them? Can you sit down for a minute so that I can finish this? She leaves. She just goes and sits out there. What are you doing, silly girl? Okay. When you love yourself, you are in relationships that honor you. You are in relationships that honor you. You listen to your soul. You listen to what it's saying to you. I'm hot. Now I'm hot because I'm talking and this is like super thick. You eat healthy. You are compassionate with yourself. And you treat yourself kind, you work out, you don't sabotage yourself, you don't eat a bag of chips and say, oh, well, I'm just going to poison myself right now, I'll fix this later. You don't do those kinds of things. You take care of yourself. You're really moment by moment checking in with yourself. You guys, this is not easy work. It's not, especially with the emotional system that we have. We can be emotional, we can react on emotion. But like I said a few seconds ago, the number one thing that you can do is tune in with meditation, with get into your body, get out of your head, understand your intuition, your soul, those emotions, and what they're telling you about a situation, about the energy in a room. Like you can read that stuff. The energy when you walk into a room, you felt it. When there's tension, you're like, dang, what's going on in here? Or when you get home and your son or your children or your partner is pissed off and you can sense it, like that's energy and your body is telling you something all the time about those moments. And if you're not in tune to that, you're going to try to shove it down and shut it out. So all that is guidance. All that is like a spotlight showing you what's going on. And those moments are there for you. And it's like the more in tune you are with your energy, with your body, with your intuition, the more you're going to know what to do in those moments. You're just going to know. You're going to feel it. You're going to sense it. And you're just going to be guided to the right thing to do. So you guys, I want you to do something for like a month or whatever. Get out a picture of you when you were a little kid and post it on your bathroom mirror. I want you to look at it morning and night. I want you to look at that little kid and I want you to ask that little you, what did you need when you were little that you did not get? What did you need that you didn't get when you were little? What were the patterns and the behaviors that you adopted because you needed something that you weren't getting? Okay, so for me, I've got a little, I think I was like I don't know, maybe like 8, I've got a picture of me on my bathroom mirror, and it's little me. I was the youngest. I was, what I know that I needed at that point in time was fatherly love. I didn't have a dad growing up living in the house with me. I got to see him a couple times a year, and I loved seeing my dad. But I didn't have a strong masculine figure in my life to provide security and safety for me, to make me feel safe and secure. Okay. That was something that I didn't even know I needed then, but now I know as an adult, I needed those things. And so that is why I have always been hyper aware of my security and my safety and providing that for myself as a single mother, as an independent woman in this world, and not being reliant on anybody else. Okay, this is something I needed when I was a kid. I didn't have it. So I became hyper aware that I was the one that needed to create it. It's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing. Sometimes we look at those things that we didn't get, and they're kind of a crutch because we hyper focus on them instead of other areas. But honestly, those weaknesses when we're little become strengths when we're adult, but sometimes they can be too much of a strength, and we need to go the other direction a little bit, right? We need to be reliant on somebody else. But there's nothing wrong with being hyper independent and solely relying on yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. All right, you guys. So another thing I want you to think about is, how do you know if you love yourself? Like, this is a really good one. I think you just know, but I think you know you love yourself when you believe in your own words. You believe in your own ideas. You believe the thoughts that you think that are positive. You can keep your word to yourself, and you don't blame other people. Like, you take responsibility for your life, for your feelings, for your ideas. You take responsibility. You also you don't justify your reactions, or you don't justify your behavior. Oh, I did this because you did this. Like, that is so immature. It is such a game that two victims play. It's this, because you did this, I did this thing. And there is a sense of that in like most relationships, but there's also a way to, if somebody is doing something that like totally makes you upset, you have the right to choose, but don't play this manipulation game. You know, you can say, you did this, so therefore you're no longer going to be in my life. That happened with me in a relationship last week. There was someone who kept playing games. They would say they need something from me, but I was like, what do you need? Or they wanted to meet with me. Why? Like, we don't have an appointment, but they wouldn't tell me what they needed or why they wanted to meet. I asked 3 times. This person is a 52-year-old male who's playing this game of manipulation. I asked 3 times. Once, one ask is appropriate. What's the phrase? It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I asked 3 times, and then he ignored me 3 times. I don't play that game. And finally, I said, I've asked you 3 times. I am tired of this. This is actually the 3rd time that this has happened in my time of knowing you. I'm done. Like, until that changes and you respect me, you won't hear from me. I will no longer help you. And I was out. That person was getting a lot of help from me and a lot of support from me in fitness and mental health, stress management. And I was just like, you know what? I'm out. You don't respect me. You don't respect my question. Okay, bye. So that's self-loving. Taking care of yourself and protecting your energy, because your energy is your life force. It's your most vital ingredient. Like in a pie, like your life force it's everything. It's everything. You got to respect it. You got to honor it. And when somebody is depleting you or they're an energy vampire, you have to protect yourself, and you've got to get out of that situation until it clears up. Sometimes it's about having those tough conversations and saying exactly what you need. Do not be a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser wastes your time and somebody else's. I was in a relationship with somebody for like 4 years because they were a people pleaser. Like, if they weren't a people pleaser, we probably wouldn't have been friends that long. So, not cool. So, own your truth. Like, own it, own it, own it, own your truth. Live boldly. I love the quote in the Bible. It says, the righteous are bold as lions. When you're living your truth, and it means like you're honoring you, you're honoring your energy, you're honoring what you think, what you feel. Like, you can say things like, you know what? I didn't like the way that made me feel. But it's not always that that person's wrong. Sometimes it's you. You got to like look at you to say, is this reaction from a wounding when I was a child? Like, this is deep. This is deep work. But you guys, this is the work. This is the work to have intimate partnerships, to be able to communicate, to be able to have tough conversations, and to be able to negotiate and say, well, okay, you think this way. I respect you. I don't think this way, but I'm going to understand that that's how you are and this is how you want things. That's called compromising in relationships and growing together, and not feeling that your way has to be the only way. Intimate relationships are always give and take. It's always about wanting to serve the other person and help the other person. But there's also those times when you're serving too much and that person is taking too much, or vice versa. So just be really understanding and open about that. Let's see. All right, so this, I'm going to wrap this up. I do want to keep these under 30 minutes. A couple other things I want to just guide you to today is the book and the questions in this chapter 2 on self-love. There's things like, what were your parents like? Just do some journaling. Like, my dad was this way. My mom was this way. I think that maybe I'm this way because of that. And just getting some clarity, shining the spotlight on some of your behaviors. And it just really, sometimes it's just, you get these aha moments when you're just starting to get reflective on your life experiences. I want you to take a moment and really, we've been looking at our goals and our dreams. And this chapter talks about that exact thing. Like, what are things you want to do? You, not things you're doing because your family needs you to do them. What dreams have you put on the shelf and you need to dust off? I want you to take another few moments. Even if you don't do anything else, I want you to do this. I want you to write down what you love. Like, what are some things that you absolutely love? For example, I love traveling. I love reading. I love writing. I love working out. I love being outdoors. I love my son. I love hugging my dog. I love gardening. I love peace. I love traveling. I love lavish hotels that I can walk into and just feel so good. I like, in those lavish hotels, the marble floor, the shiny marble floor in the lobby. Like, there's just something about that and the lights that just, I love. It's the little things, really. I love deep connection with people that I know, friends. I love to be able to communicate things that are tough and know that I am seen, heard, and valued. That's where intimacy is built. I love that for both of us, where that person can tell me something and be real and say, hey, I'm not feeling seen or heard or even valued here. And really understanding that and connecting at that place. I love that. So what are some things you love? Write them down. Get really crystal clear on them. And that's it. So that's today. That's self-love. This is kind of a very small snippet of one of my bigger programs. And actually it has everything to do with the book that I'm writing right now. And it's really a book for women and even single moms or single women, and even women who have gone through a divorce or want to get divorced. It's a book for you. So I'm excited to, I'm hoping to have it done by the end of July. Really excited about that, but I need to this is one of the things. I am self-loving when I keep my word to myself. I am self-loving when I go to bed, when I say I'm going to go to bed, and get up when I say I'm going to get up, and go work out when I say I'm going to go work out, so that I can be home in time to do the workout, or to write, or to do this live. You know what I mean? Like, my schedule is my highest priority to keep things rolling and keep things moving. And it's the same thing for you. So you guys, I am so grateful for you once again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here and joining the book club. This is day 2 in the week of happy, and this is self-love. And if you're just tuning in, make sure you go back and watch the beginning. And also you can catch all the replays on my YouTube channel, Liz Nierzwicki, on YouTube. And then if you would like the workbook for the book club, you got to just go to my website, liznierzwicki.com. And now today, before I get off, I want to let you know that I am enrolling right now for 2 things: the 90-day transformation at figurefitlife.com, and then also the Solace Yoga School. I've got 2 sessions coming up. One is the fall of 2019 and one is the spring of 2020. Right now, if you enroll before June 21st, you can get the early bird special, and that's $500 off. We also have a social media special we're doing right now where you can get an additional $500 off if you follow a very specific social media strategy that we're doing to help us get the word out. You got to do both to get $1,000 off. If you only do one, then you can only get the 500 off. So if you want the full 1,000 off, email us at info@solaceyogaschool.com and you can get that information. And that first session begins July 20th, I think. And we go from 8 to 5, 2 days in a row, and we meet again the following month. That's how my yoga school is. It's month by month, one deep dive per weekend. Just pay attention to my website, my newsletter. All of the details come out through my newsletter, whether it's for Figure Fit, whether it's for Solace Yoga School, or whether it's like trades I'm doing. Like yesterday, I bought one trade. It was called Blackline. Great company. It's a cloud-based in the healthcare. So look it up. And those are the kind of details that I give out through my newsletter. And I'd love to have you on my newsletter. I also do on the Figure Fit Instagram page like a workout move of the day. And that's out there today. So if you're interested, go check that out. And yeah, so many places. Solace Yoga School on Instagram and Facebook. Figure Fit on Instagram and Facebook. And me, Liz Nierzwicki, on Instagram and Facebook. All right, guys, so much love to you. Ciao. Have a great day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. And tomorrow we are talking about taking your power back. All right, bye.